guys, welcome to my couch. Today I wanted to showcase some home decor items and of course a bunch of plants that are bringing me a lot of joy right now, and it's a little bit of an urgent, pressing matter because I wanted to share them with you before the excitement wears off. So we're starting off in the living room because I wanted to show the home items here, and then we'll move back up to the plant room where I show you the plants. And side note, you guys are literally on the couch with me right now, so if I move and the camera shifts because you're sitting on the couch cushion, I am so sorry. So anyway, starting off with a few little decor knickknacks that I picked up that I shouldn't have because I had just paid off a chunky tax bill. I just bought my dream lamp, which you're gonna see in a little bit, but I went to a craft fair in Vancouver, and you'll see soon that I literally had no choice. The craft fair was the Got Craft Market, which I think runs twice a year in Vancouver, so the next one's gonna be in November if anyone's in Vancouver and you wanna go. It was so much better than I had anticipated. I thought it was just going to be like a way to pass an afternoon, but I didn't think that I was going to like fall in love with anything. I thought it'd just be like nice to get a little bit of creative inspiration, but I ended up buying stuff from 4 different vendors, and I was just giddy at the end of it. You know how like sometimes you just have a day when you go shopping and everything is just like clicking, like the thing that is meant to be for you are just meeting, and it's so fateful. It was one of those days. So the first thing I got was actually something I had been looking for, something to fit the bill. We needed a catch-all for keys and stuff like that in the entryway, and currently we're using this like little ebony bowl that I had gotten in Uganda, and it's just like a little bit too light and the bottom is not sturdy and stable enough. So whenever we throw keys in there, like the bowl goes. So there are a whole bunch of ceramicists at the market, and I got this. So this is by Ed, I want to say Jen, but it's spelled like Juan. But he had a lot of painted ceramics, and we had unfortunately gone to the market on the second day it was open. So he had already sold like 90% of his stuff. I probably would have bought more, but this little bowl is painted with sensitive plant. So he was telling us he's Taiwanese and he paints a lot of stuff that is like growing wild in Taiwan. And I was like, you're Taiwanese? I'm also Taiwanese, and so it made me want to buy something from him more. So the sensitive plant grows wild in a lot of parts of Asia, but have you guys ever seen sensitive plant in its full mature tree form? I'm gonna put the photo here because it is majestic, and the blooms, they're just like these bright pink, hot reddish pink fireworks. And so he's like painted that all over. He, I think, is a graphic designer slash like fine artist as a background, and then like pottery is something newer to him. So this pottery thing is a little bit of a side hustle, and this is only $20. I felt like I was robbing him blind. He also had like bigger pieces, like baking dishes. There were also other pieces that were like a darker clay with also like a more vivid, almost indigo blue painting. Everything is painted as far as I saw because that's kind of his background. But he said he's going to be at the November market as well, so I'm definitely going to try to go to the first day of that and try to pick something else up. But I thought this one would be perfect for our keys. I don't think it should get super damaged with like us. We're not gonna like aggressively throw our keys in it. We're just gonna place our keys. But I figured it's kind of like the same kind of action as using it as a bowl with like the spoon hitting it. So that's going to be living in my entryway. By the way, I don't think Ed sells any of his ceramics online, unfortunately. At least not yet. He's only selling prints and like paper fine art things online. The second thing I got was something I've been wanting for a long time. So this is not a spontaneous spur of the moment decision. I don't know if when I saw it, it was made by this artist, but this is from Potter Uki. Are you guys ready? Dumpling! Ceramic dumpling! This is actually an incense holder. You can see there's a little hole here for you to burn incense out of. Maybe you could put a little dry flower in it. I don't know. But I love folding dumplings so much. Like you're just sitting around a table with your mom and you're folding dumplings and chatting, and at the end of it you just see these trays and trays of beautifully arranged, very this repetitive pattern of dumplings, and then you get to eat dumplings at the end of it. It's heaven. It's heaven on earth. And when I saw that there were ceramic dumplings that existed, I really needed one, but I'd never seen one in person. So this is by Potter Uki, and like I don't think she sells these ceramic dumplings in her shop. She does have an Etsy shop. They were not in the shop. I don't know if she'll be adding them, but her whole vibe is more like Japanese, she's Japanese. It's very Japanese, but also has like very oceanic inspirations, like whales and like seashells and stuff like that. There's cute little kitty cats. She had these vases that were like this big, like a whole tray of tiny vases. I don't know what they'd be for, but they were absolutely delightful. So this technically has a use case like incense or putting something in this little hole, but I'm probably just going to use it for visual delight. And it makes me really, really happy. This looks a lot like the dumplings that I make, except that, so you can see that the creases are all folded one way. I like to do mine folded inward. So like a pleat goes this way and then it like there's two symmetrical sides and they're all folded towards each other. She also had some really beautiful matcha chawans, which I really wanted, but I already have one, so I couldn't justify getting another one. And budget permitting, I could only afford the dumplings. So this is the thing that I wanted the most and I got it. The next thing is something that me and my boyfriend both wanted, and this one is from Sind Studios, and they're these little porcelain cups. They're about 4.5 ounces, and it's the perfect size for like possibly a little flat white kind of thing. And there's like blue and brown and green glaze on it. These were also like a market special, so haven't seen them in her shop, but they were $10 each. And we also got them in pink. But the color glaze on it is exactly the same color, so they kind of go really well together as a set. She was saying that she makes these in bulk around Christmas time, so the November market, when she's showing again, she will sell them in like big packs and people buy them in like sets of 15 and they give it away with like a wine bottle for Christmas. And I was thinking like this, I was thinking sake when I saw it, but then the thought of drinking wine out of one of these at Christmas time filled my heart with so much cozy joy that I just had to have them. So I think there's two of them at Sin Studio and they specialize in porcelain. But if you look at this is not really like their whole thing. Like they're more kind of functional items with a very sculptural look. Like for example, a catch-all tray that looks like an ear. It does, like a lot of the stuff doesn't look like this. So this is not really that much of a representation of what they do. But they're another reason why I'm really excited to get to the November market, because I think it's going to be a lot of cool stuff. And it made me realize I'm really missing out on a lot of stuff by not going to these markets often enough. Like I can't remember the last time I went to a craft market. It must have been before COVID. And I remember those to be like just a little bit more, is it mean to say cheesy? Just like not useful stuff and just kind of like fun and silly little craft things. So this was a really, really pleasant surprise. There was another thing, I forgot it upstairs. I'm gonna have to go get it. So this is from a like scent maker that I already had bought their stuff before. So I was happy to see them on the market so I could refill on this room spray that I don't think I could live without. So this is by Ollie & Co. By the way, none of these are sponsored whatsoever. They have no idea who I am. Ollie & Co. I got this from Boku Bakery because they also stock some like lifestyle-y things in their cafes. And this particular scent is called My Happy Place, which is white tea and ginger. I use this in the bathroom. This room spray is your secret weapon when you have guests randomly drop by and you don't have time to like really do a full deep clean. Just spray your house, just drown your house in this. They won't really know why it is so pretty in here, but it's just so pretty. You can also use it as like a body fragrance, but it's like so, it's not too sweet. It's a little sweet, but in a very fresh way. Because I'm not really a huge fan of sweet and like sugary scents, and especially a lot of fruity scents I don't really like. I'm usually more earthy, rosemary, sage. Usually the fruitiest I typically go is bergamot. So this just smells really clean, fresh. Like the ginger is pretty subtle. I think the white tea is a little bit more dominant, but it's such a nice scent. So I got two to back up because I cannot run out of it. And it's only $18 and I find that it lasts quite a long time when I spray it in my bathroom. And I find that I can smell it for like a full 24 hours after that. And like that bathroom has really, really high ceilings. So it's not like a teeny tiny powder room or anything. And $18 versus spending like $30 to $50 on a candle, which will only last you a few months. I think this, if you don't spray your entire house with it, it could probably last you a good year plus. She also had another scent that I was really interested in, but it was only in candle form, and I was really I could not spend money. So I was trying not to buy too many things. And it was called Situationship, and it had like a more bergamot, like a moodier smell. And I think she's going to be coming out with a room spray with that later down the road, or I asked if she would, and she seemed like she said she was going to do it. But that would probably be the next one that I buy, either as a candle or a room spray if she has it, and that would be more of like a fall wintry scent. Okay, last but not least, I had been talking about getting a Nelson Boval lamp for a while now, and it finally happened. All the Herman Miller stuff went on sale. And this actually got to me so fast. I ordered it from Gabrielle Ross, which is located on Vancouver Island, and it got to me like a day later. It was so freaking fast. But I haven't pulled the whole thing out yet. Here she is. I was debating getting this or the medium, and the medium would have been like, I think $200 something more than this one. And my boyfriend was just like, you gotta just get the small. I would have insisted on the medium if I thought it was absolutely crucial to where it's gonna go. I'm gonna show it to you right now. It's gonna go like here-ish. Maybe about this height-ish. Oh, that's hurting my arm. And the reason why we haven't installed it yet is because we still need to paint. But the medium would have been like, I think 5 inches wider. So quite a bit wider, but I think this is completely fine. So now that that little splurge is out of the way, I can get back to buying all the plant stuff that I need that I've been putting off because I've been trying to save up for this. And speaking of paint swatches, I don't know if you noticed this little square in the background, but I finally decided on the wall color for the living area. So the color is obviously not going to show true to real life on camera, but these were the colors I was going between. So this would have been obviously like a very small departure, and it would just be kind of like a refresh of the current white, but obviously a little bit more warm, a little bit creamier. So this is White Dove by Benjamin Moore. This is Steam by Benjamin Moore. This is a little bit whiter. This is the color I think we're gonna go with. It's looking a little bit more gray on camera, I think, but it's more of a beigey grayish in real life. And this is Pale Oak by Benjamin Moore. And okay, it really does look quite gray on the cameras. It's really not that gray. I think this will be a really calming color. I'm gonna back up to see. No, it still reads gray. I'm so sorry. In person, I feel like it's a little bit more, it reminds me a bit more of mushrooms. I think it'll be a really nice calming color. So that's going to be the next task, is going around and repairing all the little dents and dings and dog chewing marks around the house, and then we're going to start painting. Anyways, that's the home decor updates done. So I think I have like 5 or 6 plants I really want to show you. I deliberately kept the list of plants very edited down. I didn't want to show you too much because otherwise it would be the point of a walkthrough tour video. Okay, just kidding. I just looked at my list and it's 7 plants. The first one, I don't even remember the last time I showed it. It's been a long time and it's definitely not looking flawless, but if we're going to judge by the most recent 3 leaves, I think it's starting to look really nice and exactly what I wanted when I wanted the plant. This is my Midnight Velvet, and it's just pushed this leaf, which is looking so dark and twisty. So every time I used to talk about this plant, I've been talking about how I've been struggling to get it really dark, and I've been getting like weird little fungal things on it. And I'm gonna come back to that in a bit, but the thing that made me so excited is when I looked at this leaf, because so it kind of grows like this, right? So this leaf is kind of facing the side, so I really have to like turn it around to see it. But this is fully hardened off, and look how dark it is compared to the older leaves. Here is an older leaf that's kind of yellowing, so it's not really a good example. This is the leaf prior to that, but something is working for it. Maybe it's the CalMag, I don't really know. So this leaf I really loved, but then this leaf, it's sized up and look how twisty it is. And the lobes are getting longer and they kind of do a little bit of this and the really pink sinus. This leaf, I don't know what happened. It got a little bit of a hole here. I don't know if anything poked it when it was unfurling or if it just kind of ripped while it was expanding, but I can see the little lobes on it and it's so pretty. And I think this is a little darker than previous emergent leaves. If you guys want to see a flawless specimen, go to Owen's Instagram because he's the one that I got the Midnight Velvet from. And if I'm not mistaken, Midnight Velvet was a batch name, I'm pretty sure. So not all Midnight Velvets look like this, but this one is very, very dark and twisty. Like I am absolutely obsessed with this leaf. It looks so, so sinister. And I'm really excited for this one to expand. I hope it's a little bit bigger. I remember when I potted it into this pot, there was a active growth point down beneath the soil. And I was hoping that it would come up like the way the last little pup did, but so far I don't see anything yet. But to go back to the damage, so there's like this. Do you see this dusty damage that looks a lot like spider mites? But then on this newer leaf, and I noticed this when this was still not quite fully hardened off, there's these little gray, like almost, you know when chocolate gets oxidized, it gets that like bloom, those little gray like kind of bursts. You can kind of see it like here-ish. So I've been always kind of suspecting this of having some sort of fungal issue. And the reason why I think it's fungal is because I don't see the damage on a fresh emergent leaf or a leaf that hasn't hardened off yet. It's always on the older leaves, which is very opposite to mite behavior, whether it be flat mites or spider mites. Like if you have an emergent leaf, you're going to see the damage on those, but I don't see it on the emergent leaf. It only shows up later once the leaf has hardened off and beyond. But anyway, that's not the point. The point was to show you how wonderful this plant is. The next thing I'm going to do in terms of care for this plant is when I repot it, I'm going to repot it into tree fern pond, but heavy on the pond. And the reason is this is not technically a part of the favorites list, but my caracuna by Stripey X2 was exhibiting didn't look quite the same as the Midnight Velvet, like with that little like chocolate bloom looking thing. It had more like really bright yellow damaged dots all over the leaf blade, and it was very fungal, and I was very similar to when I was seeing plants planted in very cheap unbuffered and unwashed coco coir, and it was like burning the leaves. They had all these little like pox looking marks all over it. So I figured maybe it was getting burned by the sea soil in my tree fern soil. So I repotted this into tree fern pond. This is just tree fern and pond. It's not even that heavy on the pond, and it seems to have fixed the issue. This is a leaf that grew out after I made the switch, and usually by now, once the leaf had hardened off, it would have been showing the pox already. So that's kind of what I want to do with the Midnight Velvet, because it is in tree fern soil that has the sea soil mixed in, which I have very mixed results with. Some plants are absolutely fine, but some plants were showing fungal or just unhappy, not really growing. The roots weren't doing that well. So that's definitely my next move. The roots are quite healthy. It has rooted out in the substrate. I'm just hoping that in making the switch in the substrate, I'm able to preserve older leaves for longer. And definitely I want to preserve this one. The next plant is another one that I haven't shown in a long time. And I don't think I ever really show you updates on it every time it grows a new leaf, but it is my Woohoo's First Night. It just popped a new leaf. So if you guys didn't know, Woohoo's First Night is also a batch name for a whole batch of like a Pappy hybrid. I think it was Indonesian, could be Thai, I'm not really sure, with Ace of Spades. So this one is a clone of Amanda's specimen, Amanda's bunny on Instagram, and hers is very bumpy, and then hers is obviously way more mature than mine. Mine I got as a stump from Charmaine. So Charmaine had the plant, cut off the stump, gave it to me, and I grew it into this. I'll see if I can find a photo of Amanda's specimen, but if I can, I'll put it right here. And I remember it having the most vibrant red veins, and the veins were really, really skinny. Up until this leaf, I was getting the really bumpy texture. You can see it on this leaf. It's got a really, really nice bolete texture, but I wasn't getting the red. But of course, it's really hard to show red veins on camera. Like, I don't think it's showing red. I think overall the leaf is showing quite brown, but the veins are red. Like it's a reddy orange color. And this is the first leaf that those red veins had shown up for me. And I am guessing it's a maturity thing. And it's just been making me really, really happy. I unfortunately let it dry out a little bit. I watered this it's been like 2 days ago, and it's probably needing water again. Probably was really thirsty. So that is why it's a little bit asymmetrical. Hopefully I can show you the texture on this one. Obviously I haven't seen all of the Woohoo's First Nights, but I really enjoy this one just because of that really bumpy texture. You can definitely see it on the older leaf once it's fully hardened off. But yeah, like before this leaf, every leaf kind of came out like a little bit colored, but like I could never really notice the veins being a distinct reddy color, but this one finally is showing red veins. This is one of those plants that's planted in tree fern soil with sea soil in it and doesn't mind. It has been growing wonderfully. It gets very little light. It's at the very, very bottom right here of my exo. So it's like the farthest away from the light you can possibly be in that enclosure. And it's just seems happy as a clam. Okay, this is a repeat from last week. But since last week, it has gotten even bigger, so I have to show it to you again because I love this plant so much. And this is my red crystallinum self that I got from Dania. So she has a Tazula red crystallinum and she selfed it. And this is one of the outliers in terms of being extra pink that she so lovingly gave me. Like it's really, really difficult to show you how pink it is, but I do not own any red crystallinum that has ever been anywhere near this pink. And I'm including my Dreamweaver by Necromancer. I mean, it is pink, just not as pink in comparison. I'm going to show it to you right now. So this is Dreamweaver by Necromancer, and this is Dania's red crystal. It's insane. If you guys have ever tried to photograph red crystals or show it on a live or show it on video, you'll know how difficult it is to show the true redness. Like, because you'll just be like, oh my gosh, the pinkest thing I've ever seen in my whole life. And then you show it and it's just like kind of silvery looking. I can't really tell on the viewfinder, honestly. I will only be able to tell when I get this video uploaded onto my computer. But in case it's not showing what it looks like in real life, I'm going to put a photo here that's looking more true to what I actually see, because this pink is like, it's different from other red crystallinums I've seen where the red is like quite red. It's like a pinky red or almost like winey color. This is hot Barbie pink. And I was saying in last week's video that I hope that it grows a little bit bigger and it's like a good enough upsize from the last leaf, which would have been this one. And it definitely is. Like, I'll show it to you side by side. It's still decently floppy. I cannot wait for this one to get big, not because I definitely want to breed with it, because I don't have the space to grow a ton of seedlings, and there are so many red crystal hybrids, but the red in the red crystal is such a recessive trait that you really have to, like, in a batch, you're only going to have a few that show the super red or super pink or super purple veins, and I don't have the space to like grow out all these seedlings just to see what colors show up. You know, I feel like that's a job for someone with a lot more space than I do. So I wanted to get big, not because I want to breed with it, but because I want to see the like little flecky, messy venation come out. Like, I'm just going to show you her mother plant. I want that sort of red crystallinum with this pink. That's what I'm most looking forward to. So when I got that red crystal from Dania, I also got another plant from Dania that has been, it just makes me so happy. And it's on several levels because previously I thought I couldn't grow this plant. And that's my Queen Clarvium. And this one originally came from Cartel Down. This has been a walk in the park. This has been so easy. So I remember when I potted it up, it's in a mixture of, it's a sea soil, tree fern soil, but it's an extra barky mix. So I think I water it about weekly, and I don't water it super deeply. I don't really keep a reservoir on it, maybe like a little bit of runoff, but I try to not water it too much because with clarinerviums, you really want to let them dry out more than other anthurium because they really store a lot more moisture in the roots because the roots are so thick. But I haven't found that I needed to dry it out like 100% and then like let it be dry for a while and then water. I find that if I water it when it's like 80% dry, it's totally fine. And by totally fine, I mean like it's continuing to grow and it's sizing up. So this is the first leaf that I grew. When I got it, it was, there was an emergent leaf. So I didn't grow that leaf, but it expanded in my care and it was this one. It was so stinking cute. It's so round. And then this was the first leaf I grew. And then it's popped a new leaf and little baby inflow. Do you see how tiny it is? I'm going to try to show you this leaf without breaking it, but do you see how veiny it is? I'll try to get it without the glare, and I'm dropping bark everywhere, but it's a lot more veiny. I'm really looking forward to it getting bigger because it's just going to look extra webby. It kind of reminds me of like a very mature active sourdough starter when you like twist it and then like all the starter collapses and you see those bubbles and it looks actually quite gross. That is the biggest dragonfly I've ever seen in my life. It was like this big. It looked like a transformer. Usually I see these like little tiny needle things that look blue, but that one was a tank. I have completely lost my train of thought. Maybe something about veining, webby veining. But yeah, I don't know technically what this is called. These little messy little flecks. But I'm looking forward to more of this. But yeah, definitely part of the reason why it's been making me so happy, not only because I love how it looks and it's growing so beautifully for me, it's because like I've proven to myself that I can grow clarinervium, and it's an anthurium that I've always really appreciated. It's like such a staple, lovely, solid, classic anthurium that I had failed at growing. I don't really know what I'm doing differently. Maybe I'm just letting it dry out a bit more and I'm understanding the watering. Maybe now it's getting better light. I don't know. Things have changed so much in this plant room over the last few years that I can't really pinpoint when I was having trouble when. And at that time, I didn't have YouTube to kind of like look back on and reference. So it's kind of a little bit of guesswork. But I do know that I struggled with clarinervium all my life until now, apparently. This one and the other one that I got, they're both doing absolutely great. Okay, this next plant, I am so excited to show you. I've been holding off, but I have been showing this a lot in my Instagram stories. And this is what I affectionately call the Jose plant because I got it from my friend Jose as a sprouted seed. It's a Fortune Ralphinum by Carla Dress. Fortune Ralphinum by Carla Dress. First of all, do you see how blushy pink that abaxial is on that new leaf? This new leaf is so pretty. Look at the veins, and the blister variegation is still there, so it's warping the leaf a little bit at the top, but it's just adding a little bit of pizzazz. I think it's not like so much that it's overtaking and warping the whole leaf. I love this plant so much. So when I first had it as a seedling, it was starting to show blister variegation on like maybe like the third or fourth leaf. It's just a little bit, and then it completely went away. It was just all green leaves, and then it kind of came back here. And it's just enough that it doesn't bother me. It's just enough that it doesn't make the plant look sickly. It's definitely more on the back side. It's just a little bit of extra decoration, and it doesn't detract from the overall like leaf color and the venation and the overall texture because all of this is green. I just love this plant overall for how short and stubby the lobes are, and the sinus is generally a little bit more on the wide side. Like here's the older leaf, the second newest leaf. Here's the leaf before it. I mean, this one got a little bit warped. This was an even older leaf, more like a V-shaped sinus. Really hard to see, it's a little bit bent. But on the two most recent leaves, the sinus is like very, very wide V. And the exciting thing is, if you watch this video, you might recall that Charmaine took, so we have like sibling specimens from the same seed batch. Hers is a lot like narrower, taller lobes, but pointy, but it's not as like slab-like. That's like a slab. It's a very slabby plant. She brought pollen from hers and put it on mine because mine had flowered. I think this is the second flower and that was her first flower. So I was like, I probably should use mine as the mother, and we'll just see if it can produce healthy babies. Like I'm not 100% sold on its mothering capabilities yet because it's not a huge plant. It's not tiny, but it's not really that big. Let me just take the cover off so you can properly see the berry development. So if you watch that video where we pollinated it, it was only receptive out here. So that's why it's only growing berries to here, and we only had a small amount of pollen, which is not a bad thing because the more berries it produces, the more energy it's going to take, and it's not that mature, like I said. So I'm really, really hoping this goes to full seed development. I just want to grow the seedlings out and see if they're any good. They could be weak little plants and they might not be worth growing, but we will see. When I move my tent around, I did move this closer to the light because I wanted to see it. It was purely an aesthetic thing, and I wasn't sure if it is too much light. It might be slightly too much light. It is lightening ever so slightly. This is a leaf that just freshly hardened off, so it's not fully hardened off yet. This leaf hangs a little bit lower, so it hasn't gotten bleached at all, but I have a feeling, because the light is basically like right here on this plant, I have a feeling it might not like it so much. So I might drop it down a little bit. That's part of the reason why I wanted to get it out, because I wanted to see it outside of the tent lights and see if it actually is bleaching, because sometimes it looks like it's bleaching inside the tent, but it's not actually bleaching. I've been waiting so long to show you this plant. I wanted this leaf to kind of fully expand, first of all, and then I wasn't really sure like in what context I would show it to you. I wanted to do some sort of favorites kind of video. So really this video is completely manufactured around those craft market finds and this plant. My King of Spades red crystal, I own 3. This is one of them. This is the only one that lives in my tent, and it just pushed out a new leaf, and I love this plant so much. Look at it. It's so pretty. It's so, so, so silver. And it started to flower. It's its first flower. Don't know if I'm going to do anything with it. I might just collect the pollen just in case. Actually, I can't show this to you right now because the inflow already died off. But this inflow looks so much like my NSE red crystal inflow, which I guess makes sense because the King of Spades inflow is very monochromatic. Anyway, as far as King of Spades red crystals go, it's definitely not the most like vibrant red. Like this is emergent leaf. It comes out like kind of a dusty, very desaturated winey color. It's definitely not vibrant at all. And then when it hardens off, it doesn't show any color really. Here is the fully hardened leaf. It's just like a very dark, almost blackish green with silver. But the venation pattern is exactly what I wanted. I wanted the really silver, bold veins, kind of bleedy, a little bit messy with these flecky flecks that I love so much. And it delivered on all those fronts, just not the color. I don't even really mind that. Like the color that it has is so pretty because it's so dark and so vibrant. Like it's very bold and contrasty. So I can definitely forego like the fleeting red on this plant because everything else aesthetically is exactly what I wanted from a King of Spades red crystal. It's definitely very heavy on the red crystal versus the King of Spades. And I just really love it. It needs water desperately. Hold on. My watering can is almost empty. Do you see how... Oh my gosh, you're gonna need more water than that. I'm so glad I was filming today, otherwise I probably wouldn't have noticed. This is one of those plants that's so algae ridden on top that it always looks like it's wet, but it's not. There, that's much better. Last but not least, this one might go down as my favorite hybrid I've ever made. This is the Dark Phoenix by King of Spades seedlings I selected for myself, and I've just got so much excitement for what it's going to turn out like. So Dark Phoenix is the mom, King of Spades is the dad. Both of these parents are really dominant, so whenever they're used in hybrids, they usually beat out the other one. But King of Spades has been doing really well in this one, in this whole seed batch. King of Spades is showing up in all the offsprings. Like some are very King of Spades leaning and some are a little bit more Dark Phoenix leaning, but you can tell that there's a bit of King of Spades and everything. But this one, I don't know, this one has surpassed my expectations. So I started to get really excited about this one when this leaf was emerging. So I was seeing that very spidery but very pinstripe venation, and that's the pattern that I really wanted to kind of see if I can get to show in a King of Spades hybrid. I didn't even really notice it with this leaf, which is a leaf prior to that. Like it's really round and really pinstripey, but I just feel like this leaf was showing that spideriness a little bit more. But then look at this new leaf. It's not even fully expanded. It's still a little bit glossy, but look at that venation. It's still holding on to the spideriness. I'm just relieved that it's not like a fluke with this leaf. On this leaf, it's still showing really spidery. Like, do you know what I mean? It's that like that kind of pattern. Kind of like, you know how those like wire head massagers go, and it just cascades down in a very like symmetrical pattern. That's what I mean by the spideriness of this leaf. And it's still really round. It doesn't really look anything like a Dark Phoenix, if I'll be honest. But this is the specimen that I've chosen for myself. I have a few more in the tent. I just put them in there because I graduated them into like 4-inch pots and they just don't fit in the bins anymore. I'm just gonna grow them out. I might sell them. I might hold on to more. I might hoard them all. I don't really know. I have one that I'm already trading. But other than that, I don't have any plans to sell any of them anytime soon. I probably will. But this one, no way. I'm holding on to this one. If I kept only one from this batch, it's definitely going to be this one. I'm just going to put all my energy into making sure that this one grows out as quick as possible. This one is planted in tree fern pond. It has rooted out quite a bit. I think this is like 3 weeks worth of roots, but I think it's at the stage where it's going to be dramatically upsizing. So like it could be a huge upsize at any given point, so long as I keep on top of the watering, so as consistent as I can be, and also up potting whenever it fills out the pot. If I keep that up, hopefully it will size up as quick as possible. It's not as big as like the biggest specimens. This is another one from the same batch. Like it's way bigger, but it's maybe just like a leaf behind. But do you see like the dramatic upsize from this leaf to this leaf? I think we're about there. We're about that stage with this one. And just I'm praying that it stays spidery. Like if that goes away and it was just like a seedling thing, I will be so sad. Seedlings in general are just very exciting. So I'm like baseline always very excited. But then when I have a hand in creating them, even more excited. But I've never been this excited. This one just speaks to everything I'm loving right now. Really fat and round, spidery veins. Can't be any better. And that concludes my list of things that are making me extra happy these days. Before I go, I just want to do this because I always forget to give you guys information before an event happens. So every time like there's a sale or anything, I'm like, oh, by the time this video goes out, the sale's already over. So May 24th to 25th, which I believe is Victoria Day long weekend in Vancouver. Nope, it's not. That's definitely not. It's not any sort of long weekend. The Secret Plant Show, which is at the PNE in Vancouver, me and Jing are going to be there. We're going to be sharing a booth, or Jing is sharing a booth with Midnight Garden or Hoffmanny High. I'm just tagging along with Jing because she kindly offered to let me sell with her. So I'm going to be there only on May 24th, the Saturday, with some plants. I'm going to bring some seedlings, maybe a few propagations. I haven't propagated too many, so I don't know if what will be ready then, but definitely some seedlings. Jing's got a whole bunch of seedlings. Hai has got some gorgeous plants, and if you already pre-ordered, that's where you're going to pick it up. So hopefully I will see you guys there. Anything that doesn't sell at the show will go on Jing's website. So if you're not in Vancouver, there will be stuff that will roll over to Jing's website, which is planthappens.com. I'll leave the information for the plant show in the description, but for now, I believe unless something changes, we are booth number 5. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Mwah!